We're on air. Share my screen. Put that down, hide that. Here. CRC cards. Like that. Yeah. All right, okay. You're good to go now.
All right. Hi, this is Kevin Kingdon, and I'm here with Jason Presher. Today we're presenting CRC cards, which is a technique for brainstorming object classes, responsibilities, and collaborations in a software design. To use this technique, you begin by creating a set of 4x6 note cards. On each card, you list the object class name at the top, and on the left, you list the responsibilities of the object class, and on the right, you list the collaborators, the other object classes, represented by other cards that interact with this class. You can physically position the cards to denote the closeness of their collaborative relationships. If you have two classes that are mutually interdependent, you might lay them on top of each other, one on top of the other. If you have cards that are less closely coupled, then you could place them side by side. The further apart they are, the weaker their collaborative relationship. You can also use position to represent the relationship between a high-level object class and the subclasses that together form the whole of the higher level class. Once you've got your cards, you can use them to work through various execution scenarios where you're doing some operation or some function of your application. You start with a card and you identify the responsibility of that card that you're invoking in the execution scenario, and then as you go through that scenario step by step, you'll follow the collaboration links and move from one card to another. And you can denote which card is the active card for the current execution step by pointing to it or physically picking it up. And as you go through this process, you may find that you're missing something. You might find that some responsibilities of the classes are not listed and you need to add those. You can either add responsibilities to an existing card, or you can create a new card representing a new class that would have that missing responsibility. Likewise, you might find that you're missing collaborations. There's no linkage that as you need it to be between one class and another. And so you can add collaborators to a card's list of collaborators, or you might create a new class as an intermediary that goes between two cards that indirectly links them together. You might find as you go through this process that some cards have many responsibilities listed, perhaps too many to fit on your 4x6 note card. That's a good indication that your card is too heavyweight, and the responsibilities may have low cohesion with one another. Similarly, if you've got a lot of collaborating classes and they depend on this large number of responsibilities of the heavyweight card, you may have high coupling in your class relationships. You want to fix that by breaking up your heavyweight class into a set of lighter weight cards with fewer responsibilities and fewer collaborations. As you go through the scenarios, you find these problems, you fix them, you can repeat your scenarios and continue to refine your design until you feel comfortable that you have a breakdown of object classes and assignments of responsibilities and the collaborations that you want to represent how your application is going to work. Okay, so we've created here a set of cards to represent just the inventory management screen from our product SRS. And you can see there in that upper left-hand card that we've got a class that represents our inventory management screen. It has a list of responsibilities, including listing items, adding items, and so forth. And then it collaborates with a number of other cards in fulfilling those responsibilities. So let's just work through one execution scenario. We want to sort our list of items in our inventory. So we start with our inventory management card, and we note that it's responsible for sorting the list. And the way that it's going to do that is it's going to use the sort selector that's listed on the collaborators. So we go to the sort selector card, and it provides a list of available sort criteria. We pick one of those sort criteria, and then we go back to the inventory management screen, and now it can sort the list according to the selected sort criteria. And so that's how you use the cards to work through an execution scenario. You'll note here in our list of cards on the inventory management screen, it has a number of collaborators. You'll note, though, that none of the cards list the inventory database as collaborators. So we're missing an essential function here, which is storing our items in a persistent form. We'd have to add that high-level responsibility to one of our classes. Maybe that belongs on the inventory management screen. And then we would need to include the inventory database as one of our collaborators. So you can see here, as we look through our cards and use them, we've both been able to demonstrate how our application is going to work, as well as discover a deficiency in our design, and then we can move forward and repair it. Okay, now I'll turn that over to Jason for the next part of our presentation.
Thank you, Kevin. As with any technique or system, there are pluses and minuses, and the same is true for a CRC card technique. So why would we want to use CRC cards? Well, a major advantage of CRC cards is they're simple to understand. As we saw from the example previously, each card contains 3 elements: a class, responsibilities, and its collaborators. Simple enough. CRC cards can be used to explain complex designs. It only takes a few minutes of introduction to prepare an audience for a card-based presentation. Cards can be written out on the spot. We saw earlier that one of our cards was incorrect, so we could go back through, we could fix the card, or we can make a completely new card and add it into the system, and it's ready to go. Physical interaction with the cards aids in object-oriented thinking. So it prepares people to understand the vocabulary and details of particular languages. In this instance, for coding languages such as C++ and Java and others that are used to create programs. Of course, because they are physical cards, they are portable, and no computer is designed to be used at any time, anywhere. The CRC cards, people get a hold of them, they can use them, and they can see how it all works together, and they can play the role of that object. CRC cards provide an informal and non-threatening design environment, which helps in working and learning. And of course, we have our downside or some obstacles of CRC cards is that may not convey all the information needed. So if we were to actually use the cards that we had earlier, if we want to do something from the inventory database, well, we'd have the information we need in order to access that. So the card would have to be fixed in order we can do that. And some developers find CRC cards threatening because they don't like to work, they don't see the need to work closely with others because they think they know the technology and they understand the business domain better than anybody. But of course, who knows more about how the system works than those people who actually use it on a daily basis? And of course, because it's physical cards, it's sometimes hard to get users together. So they're in your building, or you gotta go somewhere, or you gotta call some people to come to you. You gotta have people to participate in the program in order to understand, in order to make it work properly. CRC cards are limited. We can use other things such as cases or prototypes to help us understand this a little bit better. And of course, if the models need to accurately reflect the problem domain. If they don't, then our project is in serious jeopardy. And it would be a good idea to find this out now instead of waiting until later once we started developing the software to know that there is a problem and it's going to cost us a lot more to go back and fix it. So we recommend using CRC cards for weak programmers. So if you're a weak programmer or you don't have a deep understanding of objects, well, this could help you understand the objects. If you don't see the value of the object, CRC cards also give useful and convincing experience with objects to help us to see their value. We need CRC cards if you need something, a physical interaction to help people understand it better. This would be a good way to do that. Of course, if they don't interact physically, then they lose a lot of the benefits of using the CRC cards. And it can be confusing at times if you have a large group of people, you have a large program, a lot of people talking, can be noisy. Good practice to limit the number of people who want to comment to 1 or 2 at a time. In conclusion, the summary of the technique is the brainstorming technique used to rapidly identify object classes, their responsibilities, and their high-level relationships. In our demonstration, we used CRC cards to brainstorm the object class related to the inventory management screen. 2 upsides to using CRC cards. The major advantages are simple and easy to understand. And they provide a informal and non-threatening design environment. A downside may not convey all the required information, and it's hard to get all the users together. And we recommend using this brainstorming technique as long as all the participants can be gathered together. Participants really need to be able to interact with the cards to get the big picture. So thank you for viewing our presentation and hope you learned something about CRC cards. Thank you.